الدرس بقراءة أم الكتاب الفاتحة. أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. الحمد لله رب العالمين الرحمن الرحيم مالك يوم الدين إياك نعبد وإياك نستعين اهدنا الصراط المستقيم صراط الذين أنعمت عليهم غير المغضوب عليهم ولا الضالين آمين. Okay, so I hope that you have watched the whole video on the lesson of Al-Af'al Al-Mazid, Al-Af'al Al-Mujarrada, Wal-Af'al Al-Mazida, and also the part for the Auzan. Okay, so now we want to talk about the Wazan or the Auzan. Okay, you can refer to the notes, that I gave you. Okay, this one. Okay, Auzan al-Fi'li Thulathi Mujarrad. Okay, just before we go to the Auzan, let us recap what we have learned in the previous class. We have said that for the Fi'il, Arabic Fi'il, we can divide them in terms of the number of the letters. Okay, in terms of the number of the letters, we can divide them into two broad categories. First is the Fi'il Mujarrad, and second is the Fi'il Mazid. And Fi'il Mujarrad is where the fi'il contains only original huruf, original letters, where there is no or there are no additional letters. Okay, so that is the mujarrad. And we can further divide the mujarrad into two groups. First is the mujarrad thulathi. That means all the fi'il, there are three original letters, three original huruf in the fi'il, thulathi. Okay, or we call it thulathi mujarrad or mujarrad thulathi. And there is another type of mujarrad with four huruf, with four letters. We call them mujarrad rubai. Okay, so that is the first group of fi'il in terms of the number, in terms of the letters. Okay, mujarrad. And the second one is the fi'il mazid. And the word mazid itself means added. So there are additional letters. Okay, so mazid here means that on top of the original letters, the three or the four letters just now, you add several other letters. Okay, for example, for the mazid, if the original letter was 3 letters, then when you add 1 letter, 2 letters, or 3 letters, we call them mazid thulathi or thulathi mazid. So thulathi means the original 3 letters, and mazid, you add several other letters. And we also have the mazid for rubai. Rubai, again, rubai is the 4 letters. All of the letters are original letters, and then on top of the 4 letters, you add 1 more letter. So you have the mazid rubai. Okay, so these are the what we have covered in the previous lesson. And we have also said that in order for you to identify, okay, how do you identify whether the fi'il is mujarrad with original huruf, or is there any additional huruf or mazid? So you can use in the book, it says you depend on the 10 letters, 10 additional letters. Sin, alif, lam, ta, mim, waw, nun, ya, ha, alif. Okay, so these are the 10 letters. But as I have also mentioned, that these 10 letters are not useful for our lesson because they include other topics as well. So we do not want to look at other topics. So therefore, in order for us to identify whether it is mazid or mujarrad, then you have to look at the wazan. So then the wazan is very important. Okay, so now we go to the wazan. We go to this one. So I believe we have watched the lesson. So now tell me, what do you understand by the word auzan? Auzan, or the mufrad of the word is wazan or waznun. Now, anybody can tell me what is this word? What does it mean? Yes, right or wrong is not a problem. Just let me know. Yes, anyone? What is wazan? What do you understand from the lesson? Yes.
Weight.
Again?
Weight.
Weight. Okay, that is the literal meaning of the word wazan. Yes, it is weight. Okay. What is your weight? Ma waznuka. 60 kilogram. 60 kilogram. That is the literal meaning. But in our lesson, we do not want that meaning. We want other meaning. So what is wazan in our lesson, in the context of our lesson? Yes. Anyone? You have watched the video, right? Now tell me, who has not watched the video? Let me know. Because if many did not watch the video, I have to repeat the lesson. But next time, if I ask you to watch the video and you don't watch the video, I'm not going to repeat. Okay, so it is very important. Okay, please let me know how many did not watch the video. Put in the chat. No one? All of you have watched the video? Okay, so if all of you have watched the video, I will just give you the summary of the lesson. So wazan is basically the pattern of the word. Okay, wazan is the pattern of the word. So for the wazan, we will use three letters. We will use three letters to form the basic wazan. The three letters are fa, ain, and also lam. Fa, ain, and also lam. So these are the three basic letters for any wazan. Okay, so from these three letters, you match it to the word. You match it to the fi'il. So for example, we have the fi'il zahaba. Okay, we have the fi'il zahaba. So you write the zal below the fa, ha below the ain, and ba below the lam. Okay, so here we can say that our za, this is the fa of the wazan. Okay, zal, the first letter is the fa of the wazan. The second letter ha is the ain of the wazan. Okay, the ain of the wazan. So they match. And the third letter, the ba, is referring to the lam of the wazan. Okay, so this is, if you can do this, so this means that the zal, the ha, and the ba, okay, when they match to the fa, ain, and lam, so this means that the za, ha, and ba are the original letters. Okay, so these are the original letters of the word, and this is the root word. Okay, so this is number one. Okay, you identify the wazan. You know what are the letters. Okay, number two, you look at the vowels, the harakat, fatha, kasra, and dhamma of the wazan. So for this wazan, so if you look at what we have here for the fi'il madi, fa, ain, lam, you look at the harakat. So the first one, fa'ala, fa'ala, fa'ala. So whatever harakat that you have on the wazan, you put it on the word itself. So here, since the wazan is fa'ala, the word should be zahaba. Okay, so here now we can say that the wazan for the word zahaba is fa'ala. Okay, so that is what is wazan. Okay, zahaba is fa'ala. So here, if you look at the table, we say that awzanul fi'l sulasi al mujarrad. So these are the wazan. Okay, for the fi'l sulasi mujarrad, the three-letter fi'l, with no additional letters. So the wazan is what? So these are the wazan. What does it mean? It means that for any fi'l mudar, for any fi'l madi, you must read them according to this wazan. Which one? Depends on the dictionary. It will depend in the qamus. Depend on the qamus. For example, just now I gave you this word zal haba. How do you read this? Of course, since everybody has learned the word zal haba, so all of you know this is zahaba. But provided that this is the first time you see this word zal haba, how are you going to read this? Is it zahaba? Is it zahiba? Is it zuhubu? Is it zahbu? We do not know. So we need to identify what is this word, or let's say this is the fi'l. So since this is the fi'l, you need to look at this wazan. Okay, so the first wazan, it says, okay, you have to read it according to this wazan fa'ala. So if we say it is fa'ala, then the fi'l will be zahaba according to the wazan fa'ala. Okay, fa'ala. The second one is also fa'ala. The third one is also fa'ala. So we combine this together. So one of the wazan is fa'ala zahaba. If we say that this belongs to the second wazan, which is fa'ila, then you will read this as zahiba. Zahiba. So this is if we say that this word belongs to the wazan of fa'ila. Okay, fa'ila. Or if you say that this wazan or this fi'l belongs to the wazan fa'ula, then the word you should read as zahuba. You need to follow the wazan. So this is what it means to understand, to know the wazan of the fi'l. But for any three-letter fi'l, of course, since you have fa'ala, fa'ila, and fa'ula, you cannot just use any of the wazan. No, you have to depend on the qamus. So when you look at the qamus, zahaba, they will say this is zahaba. Then only you know, oh, this wazan is the wazan of the fi'l is zahaba, is fa'ala. Okay, so that is the first thing about the wazan. How do you read the word? It is depending on the wazan. But the problem is when it is sulasi, three-letter mujarrad, only three-letter huruf, we cannot determine the wazan. Okay, because there are a few of them. So you need to depend on the qamus. Then only you know the wazan. Okay, so this is for the fi'l sulasi mujarrad. Okay, now every time you have this wazan for the fi'l madi, there is a corresponding wazan in the mudari. So you cannot simply say fa'ala and then mudari, you choose your own version of the word. No, you have to depend on the wazan for the mudari. So if you look at the wazan for the mudari, the first wazan fa'ala, the mudari is yaf'alu. Fa'ala yaf'alu. What does it mean? It means that there is a group of words where the wazan, where the madi is following this fa'ala and the mudari has to be in the form of yaf'alu. Okay, so this is what it means. What is the example? The example is the fi'l zahaba. See, if you look at zahaba, this is similar to fa'ala. So for zahaba, it belongs to this group. Therefore, what is the mudari for zahaba? You have to follow the wazan for the mudari. So the mudari of zahaba is yaf'alu. So here we say yazhabu. You cannot simply say yazhubu or yazhibu or yuzhubu or yizhibu. No, it must match to the wazan. Okay, so that is the first wazan. Fa'ala yaf'alu. The second wazan, the madi is also fa'ala. For the fi'al madi, it is also fa'ala, similar to the first one, fa'ala. But for the mudari, now if you look at the mudari, it is no longer yaf'alu. The mudari is yaf'ilu. You look at the ain. You look at the ain. The ain here is with a kasrah, yaf'ilu. So there is a group of words of fi'al that follows this wazan. Okay, among them is this word, jalasa. So jalasa, fa'ala, but the mudari is not yaf'alu, not the first one. The mudari is the second one, which is yaf'ilu. Therefore, we say jalasa and the mudari, you change according to the wazan, yaf'ilu, so it becomes yajlisu. You look at the lam, so this lam corresponds to the ain, yajlisu. So you don't say yajlasu or yajlusu. Okay, so this is for the second group, for the second wazan of fi'l sulasi mujarrad. For the third wazan, fa'ala, it is the same wazan, fa'ala, but if you look at the mudari, now the mudari is yaf'ulu. The ain is with a dhamma, yaf'ulu. So now it is a different wazan, fa'ala yaf'ulu. And the example of the fi'l of this wazan is dakhala. Okay, but dakhala, what is the mudari? You cannot simply say yadkhalu, yadkhilu, yudkhulu. No, you have to depend on the wazan. So the wazan here says yaf'ulu. Therefore we say dakhala yadkhulu. Okay, so that is for the first wazan. But again, as I said, since this is three-letter fi'l, okay, even though you have this wazan, but you do not know which one. Do you follow the first or the second or the third? You do not know. Okay, therefore, again, you have to refer to the dictionary. So in the dictionary, in not all dictionary, in some dictionary, they will give you madi together with the mudari. Madi, and then you will see after that, they give you the mudari. And you look at the harakat, how do they read? Then only you know, oh, this wazan belongs to, this fi'l belongs to which wazan? Is it fa'ala yaf'alu, the first one? Is it fa'ala yaf'ilu, the second one? or is it fa'ala yaf'ulu, the third one. Okay, so this is for the wazan fa'ala. If you look at the mudari', there are 3 patterns as well, 3 wazan. Okay, now we look at the wazan fa'ila. So this is now a different wazan. Just now is fa'ala, now is fa'ila, and the ain with a kasrah, fa'ila. So fa'ila. What is the mudari' for fa'ila? Fa'ila, if the fi'l is fa'ila, the mudari' could be either yaf'alu or yaf'ilu. Okay, so here the same wazan for the madi, but for the mudari' you have 2 patterns. Earlier we had the same wazan for fa'ala, but you have 3 patterns for the mudari'. Okay, so now we go to the second pattern, fa'ila. So what is the mudari'? It is either yaf'alu or yaf'ilu. The example, okay, we take the word la'iba. So if you look at la'iba, this is similar to fa'ila. Okay, fa'ila, la'iba. And this word belongs to this group, fa'ila yaf'alu. Therefore, the mudari' we should read yal'abu, similar to yaf'alu. You don't say yal'ubu or yal'ibu. Okay, so this is la'iba, yal'abu. Another wazan, another mudari' for fa'ila is fa'ila yaf'ilu, the ain with a kasrah, fa'ila yaf'ilu. Okay, so what is the example? Example is hasiba, hasiba, yahsibu, hasiba, yahsibu. Okay, so the ain is with a kasrah, hasiba, yahsibu. Okay, you don't say yahsubu, no. Okay, so you need to depend on the wazan. So you know that, oh, this one belongs to the wazan fa'ila yaf'ilu. Okay, so this is for the wazan fa'ila. So now we have done with fa'ala, and then we have we have completed fa'ila, and now the last one, the last wazan for the fi'il sulasi mujarrad is fa'ula. For this wazan, only a few fi'il. Okay, we have only a few fi'il that follows this wazan. Most of the time it is either fa'ala, zahaba, jalasa, dakhala, or fa'ila, la'iba, hasiba. Okay, but for this one, only a few of them. The example is this, hasuna, hasuna, ha-su. You look at the middle letter, so this corresponds to the ain, the middle letter of the wazan. So fa'ula, hasuna. So hasuna, if it is hasuna, what is the mudari'? So if you look at the wazan fa'ula, the mudari' is only 1. So since it is only 1, you don't have to look in the qamus anymore. You just depend on the wazan. So earlier, because you have 3, you have 2. That is why we need to refer to the dictionary. But now it is only 1, so you don't have to refer to the dictionary. You just change fa'ula, change to yaf'ulu. So if the fi'l is hasuna, the mudari' is always yaf'ulu, yahsunu, yahsunu. So these are the wazan or the awzan for the fi'l sulasi mujarrad. So if you look at all these wazan, there is no additional letters. How do you know there is no additional letters? There are no additional letters because if you look at the wazan, they all contain the original huruf, which are fa, ain, also lam. You don't see any additional letter alif in the beginning, or nun in the middle, or alif in the middle. No, you don't see any of this. So this means that the fi'l are all fi'l mujarrad, mujarrad. And how many letters? 3 letters. That is why we call them mujarrad sulasi. Now, any questions for the wazan fi'l sulasi mujarrad? Any questions you want to ask? No questions? Okay, wait, yeah. I've got a delivery. Okay, sorry. Now, if there is no question, any questions? Okay. If there is no question, we go to the wazan. Again, this is also for the mujarrad, the fi'l without any additional letters, but for the 4 letter rubai, for the 4 letter fi'l. Okay, so this is the wazan. The wazan is fa'lala. The wazan is fa'lala. If you look at the wazan, you still have the fa you still have the ain, and you still have the lam. But here we have another lam. But this lam is not considered as additional letter. This is part of the fi'l. So the wazan is fa'lala. Previously the wazan is fa'ala. Now the wazan or the pattern is fa'lala. So which means if the fi'l is following this wazan fa'lala, then you know that all of the huruf, all of the letters are original huruf. There is no additional letter at all. Okay, fa'lala. What is the example? Okay, we look at the example. So this is similar, I believe this is similar to what you have in the kitab. Dahraja. Dahraja. So dahraja. So how do you know this word belongs to the fa'lala? Because if you cannot remove any of the letters, because if you remove any of the letters, for example, if you remove fa, dal, or if you remove ha, or if you remove ra, or if you remove jim, then the meaning will change, or there is no meaning at all. Okay, so it means that you cannot remove any of this. If you cannot remove any of this, this tells us that the letters are all original letters. So since these are all original letters and there are 4 of them, then we say this wazan or this fi'l belongs to this wazan fa'lala. You look at the fa is the dal with a fatha, but the second letter, the ain, with a sukun. So that is why here we have a sukun, dah. We don't say daharaja, no. We say dah. The third letter, lam, with a fatha. So here ra with a fatha, and the last letter also with a fatha. So the last letter in the fi'l jim is also with a fatha. So we say dahraja, and it belongs to the wazan of fa'lala. So for this type of fi'l, the 4-letter fi'l, wazan mujarrad rubai, only a few of them. We only have a few words, okay, not much. So we can memorize the words. Okay, for example, dahraja, zalzala in the text or in the textbooks. Okay, so this is for the fi'l madi. Right, so what is the mudari for fa'lala? We need to do the mudari as well. So here the mudari is only one. So since the mudari is only one pattern, fa'lala, yufa'lilu, again, you don't need to refer to the dictionary. Okay, you just change. Yes, you just change from fa'lala to yufa'lilu. So what is the mudari? If the fi'l is dahraja, you just change according to the wazan. So dahraja, it will become yudahriju. Of course, for the fi'l mudari, you need to add ya. Yeah, for the fi'l mudari, you need to add ya. In fact, you can also add alif if you want. You say udahriju for ana. You can say ta for anta. You can say nun for nahnu. But to make it simple, we just choose ya. Okay, we just choose ya. Okay, so since you have a ya mudari, so you add this ya. This ya is not considered as the additional letter. Similar to the previous ya, the ya that you seen earlier in the mudari. So all these ya, these are not considered as additional letters. Because why? This is the mudari letter. So not part of the fi'l. So if you want to know whether the fi'l is mazid or mujarrad, you always look at the fi'l madi. Okay, do not look at the mudari, because mudari will confuse you. Okay, look at the madi and then match it to the wazan, then you can identify whether it is mujarrad or mazid. So for the mujarrad rubai or mujarrad rubai or rubai mujarrad, the wazan is fa'lala, yufa'lilu, and the example is dahraja, yudahriju. Nah. Okay. So this is the wazan, the auzan for the fi'l mujarrad, for both mujarrad rubai and mujarrad sulasi. Yes, any question before I move to the mujarrad, before I move to the mazid?
No, sir.
Yes. Yes. No question? Okay. Okay, if there is no question, we go to the, okay, for the meaning, I believe I have give you the meaning in the video, so check the video again. Okay, or you can refer to the dictionary. Okay, what is zahaba, what is jalasa, dakhala, la'iba, dahraja, and so on. So now we move to the wazan or the auzan for the fi'lul mazid, for the mazid. Okay, but this is for the 3-letter mazid, mazid sulasi. Again, repeat, what is mazid sulasi? Sulasi, the original fi'l is with 3 letters, but then you have additional letter. Okay, so the example, okay, we look at the wazan. The auzan. So what are the auzan? So here I give you some of the most important wazan. There are a few others, but I believe, if not mistaken, 2 or 3 more. But this wazan, they are very rare, so we remove them. Okay, so but what you see here, you will see this wazan in the fi'l that you see in the books. Okay, so we go one by one. The first wazan for sulasi mazid is the wazan af'ala. So if you look at the word, if you look at the wazan, you have the original huruf, which are the fa, the ain, and also the lam. So fa, ain, lam, according to the what we have seen in mazid, in mujarrad, we know that fa, ain, lam are the original huruf. So now you see additional huruf and additional huruf here. Okay, what is the letter? This is the harf.
Ustaz.
You see?
Ustaz.
Yes.
May I know which page is this for this?
Yes, Iza.
May I know which page? What page?
This is the note that I.
Oh yeah. Because I'm referring from the book. Yeah. Because I'm referring from the book.
You can download it in Google.
Okay.
No. Look at the file that I linked in the Google Classroom or in the WhatsApp group previously. This is additional notes. Look at the Google Classroom. You have additional file, PDF file. The name is Awzanul Af'al. Do you see that?
Yeah, I see that. Yeah.
Okay, all right, very good. Okay. Okay, we continue. All right. So again, I repeat again. So now this is for the 4-letter. So we have 7. So what is the example of this fi'l? Af'ala. The example of this fi'l is ahsana. Ahsana. Okay, where you have alif again. So whatever that you add in the wazan, you add that to the fi'l. Okay, so this alif is additional letter, therefore you add alif to the fi'l. And the rest of the word, the rest of the letters, ha, sin, mim, because they match fa, ain, lam. So ha, sin, nun, this is the root word. This is the root word. Okay, so if you do not know the wazan, it is impossible for you to identify what is the root word for this ahsana. Okay, so by knowing the wazan, you know that, oh, this alif is an additional letter, and fa, ain, lam, so fa, ain, lam, ha, sin, nun is the root word. One of the internet or the digital you will never find it, because the dictionary, most of the dictionaries, the words are arranged according to the root word, not according to the first letter. Arrange the words, because if they were to arrange according to the first letter, you will have too many. Okay, they will have too many. So this is just their methodology of arranging the words. Okay, so we go back to this example. Ahsana, the root word. By comparing this to the wazan, you will know that alif is additional letter, and ha, sin, nun are the root letters or the root word. Naam. So this is the first example, ahsana. So now, whenever you have a fi'l, okay, following the wazan of af'ala, then you need to know the mudari as well. So the mudari, if the madi is af'ala, the mudari is always yuf'ilu. It is always yuf'ilu. Again, this ya is for the mudari letter. Okay, the mudari letter, and you just follow the wazan. Af'ala yuf'ilu. Af'ala yuf'ilu. So do not ask where is the alif. The alif disappeared. Okay, this is in another lesson actually, but we don't have it in our syllabus. So the alif, the fi'l is actually yu'af'ilu. So you should have the alif. Yu'af'ilu. Yu'af'ilu. But the alif here or the hamzah here is difficult to read. Yu'af'ilu. So they remove this. So that is why it becomes yuf'ilu. So for our lesson, we just take the word as it is, yuf'ilu. Okay, so we don't bother with the alif. Where is the alif? We don't bother with that. So we just say af'ala yuf'ilu. So since the madi for the mudari for af'ala is yuf'ilu, then you can change this ahsana to the correct mudari. So what is the correct mudari for ahsana? It is yuhsinu. You simply add ya. According to the wazan, you have ya, and the ya is with a dhamma. You, therefore, for the fi'l, you need to have ya as well, and you put a dhamma. So you don't say ya anymore. You just like the previous fi'l, you say yaqra'u, yazhabu, yajlisu. But for this wazan, no, we don't say ya, we say you. Okay, why it is you? Why not ya? Because we are following the wazan. That's all. Okay, we are following the wazan. So yuhsinu, yuhsinu. So what is the meaning of ahsana? So the root word is hasuna, means good. Hasuna means somebody is good, somebody was good, hasuna. But when you add ahsana, the meaning will change. The meaning will change. Every time you have additional letter, okay, not only the pattern is changed, the meaning will also be changed. So now ahsana means to do something in a very good way, in a very nice way. You say ahsana. Okay, you do it in a good way. So we say ahsana. Okay, it is different from the root word, which is hasuna, means somebody is good. So we say, for example, we say hasunal walad, the boy was good. But when you say ahsanal waladu fi amaliha, the boy has done something good. So the meanings are totally different. But the root word is still the same word, which is hasinun. So ahsana yuhsinu, that is the first wazan. We go to the second wazan. The second wazan is fa'ala. Fa'ala. If you look at the wazan, what is the additional letter? The additional letter, where is the additional letter? It is the alif. Okay, alif. The alif in the middle. Yes, good. This is the alif. So other than fa, ain, lam, so they are the additional letters. Fa, ain, lam is the original, alif, whatever it is, other than the fa, ain, lam, so these are the additional letters. So fa'ala, that is the wazan. So what is the example of this wazan? Shahada, shahada, shahada. So it is very similar. It is similar. Shahada, fa'ala. So from this, what is the root word for shahada? Can you identify the root word? What are the root word? Or what are the root letters? Shin. Good, shin.
Hadal.
Hadal. Yes. Shin, ha, and dal. Shin, ha, and dal. How do you know it is shin, ha, and dal? You compare to the fa, ain, lam. Okay, so if you can see this clearly if you put it, you align it like this, shahada, and then fa'ala. So now you can see better. So fa is the shin, alif is the alif, ain is the ha, and lam is the dal. So now you know that shin, ha, dal is the original huruf, original letters. Now you have additional letter. So here we can say that this is fi'lun mazi. Okay, not fi'l mujarrad. Okay, so this is the example. So fa'ala shahada. So the root word is shin, ha, dal. You go to the dictionary, find shin, ha, dal, and they will show you the meaning of shahada as well. How do you read this word? Follow the wazan. Fa'ala shahada. Shahada. Okay, shahada bermakna to watch. Okay, they watch or monitor. Sorry, watch. Yes, watch is better. Shahada. Now, this is the madi. What is the mudari for shahada? So you need to follow the wazan. The wazan says for the fi'l fa'ala, the wazan is always yufa'ilu. Yufa'ilu. Fa'ala yufa'ilu. Therefore, what is the mudari for shahada? You just copy this. You just follow this. Fa'ala yufa'ilu, syahada. You replace it with shin, you replace ain with hal, you replace lam with dal. So what do you get? Syahada becomes yushahidu, right? Syahada yushahidu. You see, by knowing the wazan, you will be able to know the mudhari' without going to the dictionary anymore. If previously you need to go to the dictionary, what is mudhari' for yushahidu? Or you guess. Okay, you guess, but of course, most of the time our guessing is not correct. But you need to go to the dictionary. But this time, when you know the wazan, if you know the wazan, you can simply change without going to the dictionary. So syahada, the mudhari' is always yushahidu. You don't say yashahadu, yashuhudu. You know this must follow the wazan yufa'ilu. Therefore, it reads yushahidu. Okay, watch. So yushahidu, he is watching. Naam, yushahidu. The third wazan. The third wazan is fa'ala. 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 So here, if you look at the wazan, the fi'il, you have fa, you have ain, but since here you have the shadda, it tells us that there is another similar letter. So if the wazan is ain, so there are two ain. In the fi'il, you repeat the letter again. So there will be two of the same letter. So fa, ain, lam. So here we have four letters. So which one is the additional letter here? Which one is the additional letter? So this is ain. Which ain? The first or the second ain?
The second.
The second, okay. So for this wazan, the additional letter for this wazan, we don't say ain. Okay, we don't say ain. If you look at the note, the book again, they say that if you look at the 10 letters of the additional letters, the sin, point number 4 in your qawaid, point number 4, it says additional letter sin, alif, lam. Do you see any ain? Sa'al tumuniha, there is no ain at all. Okay, so because of that, we cannot say the additional letter is ain. No. What is the additional? What do you do? What do we add to this wazan? Actually, is you add this tad'if. This is what we did to the fi'il. We give a tad'if. So in the lesson, they did mention about this tad'if. Tad'if means they double the letter. So they double whatever letter that you have in the middle. So if the letter is lam, so you just double the lam. Put again another lam. If you have fa, then you double the fa. Okay, so this is what you mean by tad'if. Therefore, for this kind of wazan, you don't say ain as the additional letter. So if in the exam they ask you a fi'il similar to this, what is the additional letter? You don't put the letter ain. No, you put this word tad'if. Okay, tad'if. Tad'if means you double the letter. Yes, tad'if. Yes, tad'if. Ta, dot, ain, ya, fa. Yes. Okay, so this is the example of the wazan. Ain, lam, mim. Ain, lam, mim. But if you look at the, because it follows the wazan fa'ala, you need to have tad'if as well in the middle. Okay, so what is the additional letter here?
Lam, lam.
Ain, lam. You need to have another lam, right? So this is how it looks like if we separate the word. So it will look like this, alama. But of course, nobody will write alama with two lam similar to this. So they combine the two lam. Alama. So what is the additional letter? Do not say the lam. Okay, don't say the lam. The additional letter here is tad'if. Again, yes, we double the middle letter. So this is, okay, this is for this wazan. So we say tad'if. Okay, so this is if they ask you the question, what is the letter that you add to the fi'il. Here, no letter, no additional letter, no specific letter, but the tad'if. Okay, so allama, we go back to the wazan. Allama, fa'ala, allama. Okay, so they are similar. Now, if the wazan is fa'ala, the mudhari is always this, yufa'ilu, yufa'ilu, fa'ala, yufa'ilu, fa'ala, yufa'ilu. Okay, where this ya is again the mudhari ya, the mudhari letter. Okay, so this is the remaining, this is the fi'il, yufa'ilu. So what is the mudhari for allama? Again, you follow this wazan. So ain is the fa. So replace the fa with the ain. And then the ain is replaced with this Yu'alli, good. Yu'alli, and the last letter is the mim. Yu'alli, mu. So this is what you will get based on the wazan. Yufa'ilu, it becomes yu'allimu. Okay, and when you check, yes, it is correct. Yu'allimu. If you refer to the dictionary, you get the same word, yu'alli. So this is the madi and mudari for this wazan. Fa'ala yufa'ilu, alama yu'allimu. The root word is ain lam mim. The root word is ain lam mim, alima, which means no. Okay, no. Alima Muhammad. Muhammad knew. Alima Muhammad al-khabar. Muhammad knew the news. But when you change to another wazan, the meaning will change. So here, the meaning of alama is no longer to know. No. Alama means to make other people know. To teach them. So alama means to teach. But there will always be a similarity between the original word, the meaning of the original word, and the meaning that the new word which is derived from the fi'il. So alima, to know, alama is to teach. So they have got the same they have got to do with knowledge, right? Alima and alama. So yu'allimu is to teach, is teaching. Now, so this is the third wazan for mazid rubai. Sorry, mazid sulasi. And if you look at these three wazan, how many letters do you add to the wazan? To the word, to the original root word? For the first one, you add hamzah in the beginning. For the second one, you add alif in the middle. For the third one, you have tad'if, right? So we can say that, yes, you add only one letter. So for this three group, you add, it is mazid, but mazid with one letter. Okay, we add one letter. So the letter is either the hamzah in the beginning, or the alif in the middle, or the tad'if. Okay, now we look at other wazan. Wazan number 4. Wazan number 4, here we have two additional letters. We have two additional letters. Can you identify what are the two letters for wazan number 4? In fa'ala. Look at the wazan and let me know what are the alif, good, alif and nun, yes, alif and nun. Good, Madana. Good, yes, alif and nun. Yes, it is correct. How do you know alif and nun? Because as we have learned earlier, this fa and the ain and the lam, these are the original words. Okay, so other than, yes, good, alif and nun, good. Yes, so I in fa'ala. Okay, so the example for this fi'il is, yes, alif and nun. The example of this fi'il is in kasara. In kasara, where the alif and nun, again, these are the additional letters, and kaf and sin and ra are the original huruf. Okay, are the original huruf. Kasara. So kasara, when you say kasara without the alif nun, we can say kasara. This is to break. You break a chair, for example. In kasara. Muhammad kasara al-bab. Muhammad broke a door. We say kasara. Okay. But when you add this alif nun, the meaning will change slightly. So when we say in kasara, the meaning changed to was broken. In kasara al-bab, for example, I said the door was broken. Who breaks it? Who broke it? I don't know. I don't want to mention. So we say in kasara. So the meaning changed from to break becomes broken. Okay, so this is the example of in fa'ala. Wait, that is in fa'ala. And what is the mudari for in fa'ala? If the madi is in fa'ala, the mudari is always yanfa'ilu. Yanfa'ilu. We say in fa'ala, yanfa'ilu. In fa'ala, yanfa'ilu. Therefore, what is the mudari for in kasara? In fa'ala, yanfa'ilu. In kasara, you just imagine this, where is the nun, where is the kaf, where is the sin, where is the ra?
Yankasiru.
Yankasiru. Naam, yes. Okay, so now you get the mudari without going to the dictionary. Yankasiru, we say yankasiru. Yankasiru al-bab, the door is broken, we say. Yankasiru al-bab. Naam. So this is the fourth one. Yankasiru. So again, if they ask you yankasiru, and they say, what are the original huruf? And what are the additional huruf? You should always go back to the madi. Because if you look at the mudari, you will never find the additional huruf. You will only say nun. But in fact, there is another letter which is alif. So alif and nun. So again, as I have mentioned several times, we need to refer to the madi. Always refer to the madi. Do not look at the mudari. Now, wazan, next wazan. Wazan number 5. Wazan number 5, this is also 2 letter additional mazid with 2 letters. You add 2 letters to the original huruf. What are the letters? Additional letters. For the wazan if ta'ala.
Ta.
Should be alif and
Ta.
ta. Yes, Izzah. Okay. Alif and ta. Yes, good. Alif and ta. Okay. So you add alif and ta to the fi'il. So what is the example alif and ta? This word. Ijtama'a. So alif and ta. So this alif and also the ta. So from here you know what is the root word for ijtama'a. What is the root word or the root letter?
Jam'a. Jim mim ain.
Jam'a. Okay. Jim mim ain. Okay, good. Now you get the root word jim mim ain. But the problem is how are you going to read this word? Jim. Just now you mentioned jam'a. Is it jam'a? This is 3 letter fi'il. So since this is fi'il, yes, Madhya. You can refer to the wazan that we have learned just now. Jama'a, for example, if you read, if you follow the wazan fa'ala, then you will say jama'a. If you follow the wazan fa'ila, then you will say jami'a. If you follow the wazan fa'ula, then it will be jamu'a. So now we have a problem. Which one? Is it jama'a, is it jami'a, or jamu'a? We have all these 3 wazan, but which one? Remember, I said earlier, if it is 3 letter fi'il, there is no way that you can know the this is only teach you how to guess. But what is the correct one?
Dictionary.
Dictionary, good enough. Yes, so the correct one is always dictionary. This is, because why? Because you have options. 1, 2, 3, which one? We do not know. Check dictionary. Okay, so for this one, yes, you can say jama'a, jami'a, jumi'a, check in the dictionary, but in the end, dictionary will say it is jama'a. Okay, jama'a. Okay, good. Yes, so jama'a. If you look at the 2 words, there are similarities between them. Jama'a is to collect. Jama'a, you collect, you put them together, jama'a. Ijtama'a, they meet, they be together. They have a meeting, you say ijtama'a. So still you have similarity between the 2 words. Okay, jama'a, to collect something, ijtama'a, you gather. Okay, you are in a meeting, you say ijtama'a. Na'am. Now, this is the madi. What is the mudari? If the fi'il is if ta'ala, the mudari is always yafta'ilu. Yafta'ilu. So what is yafta'ilu, if the fi'il is ijtama'a, then it becomes if ta'ala ijtama'a, change to yafta'ilu, it becomes change the fa, change to jim, yaj. Ta is the original, the additional letter, we leave it, ta, and the ain, replace it with the mim. So yajtami, and the lam is the last letter, ain. So it becomes yajtami'u. Yajtami'u. Check? Yes, it is correct. Yajtami'u. Okay, so that is the mudari for ijtama'a. Ijtama'a, yajtami'u. Now, the next wazan. The next wazan, tafa'ala. Tafa'ala. The 2 letters, again, here it is mazid with 2 letters. You add 2 letters. Okay, what are the 2 letters? Tafa'ala. Of course, it is the ta and also the alif. Tafa'ala. Yes. So tafa'ala. Tafa'ala. The example for this wazan is tasara'a. Tasara'a. Tasara'a, to move quickly. We say tasara'a. Tasara'a, they move quickly. Tasara'a al-awlad, the students, the boys, they went. Tasara'a, where you have this ta and the alif in the middle. Tasara'a. What is the mudari? Yatafa'alu. Tasara'a. Tafa'ala yatafa'alu. Tasara'a. The mudari. Tasara'u. You replace the fa with the ain with the for tasara'a. Tasara'a yatasara'u. Tasara'a yatasara'u. Okay, so yatasara'u. Now, so additional letters are ta and alif. Now, okay.
Yeah.
Thank you. Sorry, internet is having problem. Now, okay, we come back to the lesson. Where were we just now? The tafa'ala, right? Tafa'ala. Okay. So tafa'ala again for the fi'l, sorry, for the wazan tafa'ala. Here the two letters that we add first is the ta, and the second one is this. Just earlier we call this tad'if. If you refer to the third wazan, fa'ala, tad'if. So this is similar. So you add a tad'if. Okay, you add a tad'if. So you repeat the letter, the same letter. Tafa'ala. Okay, what is the example for the wazan tafa'ala? This is the example. Takallama. Takallama. Where you have the ta, and you have this tad'if. So the root word is, of course, the root word is kaf, lam, and also mim. So kaf, lam, mim. So when you want to find what is the meaning of takallama, you refer to the root word kaf, lam, mim. Then you will find the meaning of takallama. Okay, yes. This is the fi'il for tafa'ala. Now, what is the mudari'? Tafa'ala, the mudari' is always yatafa'alu. Yatafa'alu. Tafa'ala, yatafa'alu. Therefore, for takallama, takallama bermakna speak. To speak, we say takallama bil arabiyyah, speak in Arabic. Takallama. How do you say is speaking? You want to say, use it in the mudari' form. Change it to yatafa'alu. So you add a ya, so it becomes yata, fa, replace it with the what? With the kaf. Yatakal, ain, replace it with the lam, yatakalla, and the last letter replace it with the mim. So it becomes yatakallamu. Yatakallamu is speaking. So we say huwa yatakallamu. He is speaking bil arabiyyah. Now, yatakallamu. See, this is the mudari'. Takallama, yatakallamu. Now, tayyib. Now, the last wazan for the mazid with two letters. This is the last one with two additional letters. If Allah, where you add alif, and then again, this is the tad'if. But the tad'if now is at the last letter. Okay, we add a tad'if to the last letter. If Allah, what is the example for if Allah? If Allah, the example is ihmarra. Ihmarra, where again you have the alif and you have the tad'if. So from here, what is the root word? What is the root word for this fi'l? Ihmarra. Ha, mim, and also
Ro.
yes, good. How do you read this? This is also a fi'l. How do you read this? Again, you go to the wazan of three-letter fi'l. Fa'ala, fa'ula, fa'ila. Which one? We do not know. Okay, again, we do not know. But for this one, you refer to the dictionary. They say this is hamura. Hamura. Hamura is what? What is hamura? This is from the color ahmar. Remember what is ahmar? What color is ahmar?
Red.
Red color, yes, ahmar. So when we say ihmara, it has got to do with red. What does it mean? Ihmara mean turn into red. For example, ihmara wajhuhu, his face turned into red. So we use the word ihmara. Okay, so from
used for blushing.
yes, blessing, yes, yes, blushing, yes. You can use that, yes. But this is not only to be used with red. You can use it for other colors as well. It turn into yellow, for example. Okay, the leaf turn into yellow. So you change to the word asfar, isfarra. Following the same wazan, isfarra. Yes. So that is the new fi'l that we can get from the colors. Yes, ihmarra. So for this wazan, we don't see there are not many words that following this wazan. Only a few of them, especially only for the colors. Ahmar, ihmarra, asfar, Isfarra. Aswad turns into dark color, for example, turn into black. You say iswadda. From the word aswad, you can change to iswadda. Okay, now what is the mudari' for if'alla? Yaf'alu. If'alla, yaf'alu. So you just copy this. Yaf'alu, ihmarra becomes yahmaru. Here, this is the fi'il. Ihmarra, yahmaru. Yahmaru. Okay, yahmaru is the mudari' form of ihmarra. Now, so this, I believe 5, yes, the 5 wazan that we have seen just now, these are all mazid plus 2 huruf, plus 2 letters. Okay, mazid bi harfain. Okay, so we have mazid with 1 letter, we have mazid with 2 letters, and finally we have mazid with 3 letters. So 3 letters is the most that you can have additional letters for the fi'il. Okay, you cannot have 4, 5, 6. No. So the last one is only for only this wazan. This is the wazan for the 6 letters. Oh, sorry, for the mazid with 3 letters, where you add alif, sin, and also ta to the fi'il. Okay, so it becomes istaf'ala. So the wazan is istaf'ala. You add alif, sin, and also ta to the fi'il. The example is istaghfara. Again, you see this alif, sin, ta. Okay, and the rest are the original huruf. When fara, this is the root word. Istaghfara is the new word that we come up by changing to another wazan. So istaghfara, istaf'ala. What is the meaning of istaghfara? Istaghfara, if you look at the root word, ghafara. Yes, the fi'il is ghafara. Okay, anybody knows what does it mean? Ghafara. Ghafarallah. Allahu ghafur.
To forgive.
To forgive. Good. Yes, it has. Ghafara is forgive. Allah forgive. Allah forgive us. Ghafarallahu. Allah forgive. Yes, good. But now we change from the fi'il ghafara, we change to another fi'il using another wazan. Istaghfara. Definitely the meaning will change as well. So what is the meaning? Of course, we need to refer to the dictionary. Okay. What is the meaning of istaghfara? Here it becomes to seek for forgiveness. So by adding this alif sin ta, the meaning changed to seek for something. Ghafara to forgive, istaghfara to seek for forgiveness. So from this word istaghfara, this is the word that you use in istighfar. We say istighfar, istighfar, seeking for forgiveness, right? But the word istighfar is not the fi'il. The word istighfar is noun. We have another lesson on that. Yes, but today it is just to identify, just to know the additional letters. That's all. Okay. So istaghfara, that is the madi, istaf'ala. Okay. Now what is the mudari for istaf'ala? Istaf'ala, the mudari is yastaf'ilu. So you have this yasta in the beginning. Yasta. The rest is the fi'il itself. So istaghfara becomes yasta. You replace fa with rain, ain with fa, and lam with ra. So it becomes yastaghfiru. Yastaghfiru. So this is the mudari that you get from the wazan. Yastaghfiru. So what is yastaghfiru? Change to ana. Astaghfiru. That is what we always say, right? Astaghfirullah. So what is astaghfiru? It is from istaghfara, seek. Yes, so I'm seeking or I seek for forgiveness. Okay. So these are the wazan again. So these are the wazan. Or before that, let me put it this. This is the mazid with 3 letters. Okay. So now we know that for the fi'il mazid, for the sulasi mazid, you can add 1 letter, you can add 2 letters, and the most is you can add 3 letters. And what are the letters that you can add to all this fi'il? So here, these are all the letters: the alif, the hamzah, the alif, the shadda or the tad'if, the alif nun, the alif ta, okay, the ta alif. Of course, you don't have to memorize all these letters, but what you need to memorize is the wazan. So I highly recommend that you memorize this wazan, for both madi, mudari, madi, mudari. So next time when we say what is the mudari for tafa'ala, you can refer to the table, or you can refresh from your memory. Tafa'ala, mudari is always yatafa'alu. Tafa'ala yatafa'alu. What is the mudari' for in fa'ala? Again, refer to the table. In fa'ala yan fa'ilu. By memorizing this wazan, if I give you a word, for example, I give you a fi'il, iqtaraba. Can you give me the mudari'? Let us try this. Let us try this. Iqtaraba. Iqtaraba means approach, approaching. It's coming near. Iqtaraba. From the word qarib, near. So this is okay. Before that, let's say you see this word. Can you read it? I give you a clue. This is a fi'il. So if you know that this is a fi'il, you refer to the wazan. This is fi'il madi. Refer to the wazan of fi'il madi. Which one is the nearest wazan or the exact wazan for this fi'il? Try to look at the word and look at the wazan. What is the wazan? So this requires some kind of you need to practice. Iqtaraba. Okay. Yes.
Ifta'ala.
Ifta'ala. Let me check. Let us check. Ifta'ala. Okay. Let us see whether this is correct or not. Okay. If you say that this is ifta'ala, what are the root letters? What is the root word? By comparing the two, the wazan and the fi'il.
Alif and ta.
Alif and ta. This is the additional letter. Yes, alif and ta are the additional letters. Yes, good. So what is the root letters? What the root word?
Fa'ain lam.
Fa'ain lam is this is the wazan. Yes, correct. But the fi'il?
What was the word again, Ustaz? I forgot.
The root word for iqtara, for this.
Iqtara.
Qaraba. Yes, good. Qaf, ra, and also ba. So now you know that this is mazid, where the root word is qaf, ra, and also ba. Okay, good. So that is number one. Number two, how do you read this? Alif, fa, ta, ra, ba. Since you know that this is ifta'ala, then you should be able to read this.
Iftaroba.
If or ik?
Iqtaroba.
Iqtaraba, naam, good. Iqtaraba. Okay, yes. So we say iqtaraba now. Okay, so we read iqtaraba. How do you know it is iqtaraba? Because the wazan is ifta'ala. So that is another benefit of memorizing the wazan. Okay, so you know the wazan, you know how to read the wazan, you should be able to read the word even though you don't see any vowels points at all. Okay, in later, if you master all of this, okay, you don't have to write iftaraba anymore. You see the word, you know, this must be iftaraba. And when I change to mudari, okay, let us change this to mudari. What is the mudari for iftaraba? Again, refer to the wazan. Of course, today we just refer to the wazan, but I highly recommend you try to memorize the wazan. What is the mudari for iftaraba? To know the mudari, you need to know the mudari of ifta'ala.
Taribu.
Yaqtaribu. Okay, good. So now you get the mudari immediately. But how do you get yaqtaribu? Yes.
Wazan of the mudari.
Wazan of mudari. What is the wazan?
Ta'ilu.
Yafta'ilu. Yes, yafta'ilu. So if you look at the wazan, you add the additional letters yafta'ilu, then you will get the mudari yaqtaribu. Okay, so this is the benefit. These are the benefits that you get by memorizing the wazan. First, you know how to read the word. Second, you know what is the mudari. The third benefit, later you will see that later we will learn how to form other words. How to form other words from a fi'il. How do you want to say the doer? So we will follow the wazan. You will learn other wazan as well. Okay. So for today, please try to memorize all this wazan for both madi and mudari. Now, okay, that is for the wazan sulasi mazid. Okay. And finally, the last one. The last one is the Auzan. Sorry, the wazan, only one wazan. Okay, we replaced it with wazan because only one wazan. The wazan of fi'il ruba'i. Al-an for the 4 fi'il, but with additional letter. Okay, 4 plus how many? So this is 4 plus 1. 4 plus 1. Now, only one additional letter. So the wazan is tafa'lala. Do you remember what is the wazan for the 4-letter mujarrad? 4 letter without any additional letter.
Fa'lala.
Fa'lala, yes. You go back to the previous one, this one. Fa'lala. So this is the original root word, fa'lala. So now we take the fi'il, we take the wazan, we take the wazan fa'lala, and we add a ta. So this ta is the additional letter, where the rest fa'ain lam lam is the root word. So the example for tafa'lala is tazalzala. Tazalzala, where the ta is additional letter, and zalzala, this is the root word. 4-letter fi'il, zalzala, zalzala, tafa'lala, tazalzala. So what is the meaning of tazalzala? So if you look at the root word is zalzala, means to, this is in the word that you have in Surah Zalzala. Iza zulzilatil ardu zilzalaha, when Allah shook the world. Okay, make it having an earthquake. So that is zalzala. Tazalzala, it itself is having an earthquake. For example, we say tazalzalat al-ardu, the earth is having an earthquake, or was having an earthquake. So that is the the difference between zalzala and tazalzala. Okay, so this is the fi'il tazalzala following the wazan tafa'lala, and the mudari is yatafa'lalu. Yatafa'lalu. So we say tazalzala, tazalzala, it becomes yatazalzalu. Yatazalzalu. Okay, so tazalzala, yatazalzalu. So for 4-letter fi'il, it is only one wazan with additional letter. Tafa'lala, yatafa'lalu. Now, so these are the wazan. These are the wazan. Okay, any question? It looks like it seems a lot, but if you try to memorize, it will be easy actually. For the 3-letter fi'il, of course, if you need to refer to the dictionary, but even though you need to refer to the dictionary, you just try to memorize. Fa'ala, what are the mudhari'? Fa'ala yaf'alu, fa'ala yaf'ilu, fa'ala yaf'ulu. Fa'ila, fa'ila yaf'alu, fa'ila yaf'ilu. Fa'ula, only one. Fa'ula yaf'ulu. That is that for the 3-letter fi'il. Try for the 4-letter fi'il. Sorry, for the mazid. Af'ala yuf'ilu. Af'ala yuf'ilu. Af'ala yuf'ilu. Fa'ala yufa'ilu. Fa'ala yufa'ilu. In fa'ala yanfa'ilu. Ifta'ala yafta'ilu until the end. Okay? So this is about the wazan.